Also, speaking of guitar players, I wanted to mention this today. This was some sad news, and that is that Canadian guitar legend Frank Marino made an announcement on social media that he will no longer be able to tour, that he has an illness and a debilitating medical issue that will prevent him from ever playing live again. This is quite sad news. Frank Marino is only 66 years old. He did not disclose publicly what the medical issue is, but he said his touring days, barring a miracle recovery, are over. So we certainly need to send our best to Frank Marino. He has been on this show more than once. And if you are not familiar with who Frank Marino is, he is, he was a legendary guitar player in the 70s, had a band called Mahogany Rush. Very influential guy. He's one of those guys that guitar players know and love and were influenced by, but unfortunately never really crossed over into mainstream commercial success. He is very much known as a descendant of the school of Hendrix, and he was inactive for a while. He came back a couple years ago. He put out a DVD. This guy played like 4 5-hour concerts. He played like unbelievably long shows. And he put out this definitive DVD box set of like a 5-hour concert a couple years ago. We had him on to promote it. And he has now said that'll stand as his final live performance, more or less, because for undisclosed medical reasons, he will not be able to tour anytime in the future. So it's a sad note, because I'll tell you a little backstory, which you may not know. The day when Frank was on, and when he was on this very show a couple years ago, he was talking about his interest in wanting to play and tour in the U.S. And even though he's more of a cult following guy, he actually has a really passionate fan base. And if you talk to people like Zakk Wylde or Kirk Hammett and many others, they will tell you what a big influence Frank Marino was on them. So he's that kind of guy. And Frank said and expressed a desire when he was on with me to find a way to play in the U.S. Well, through that interview, a booking agent, a reputable booking agent in the U.S. was listening, who I know, who also does some work for me, and he reached out to me and connected with Frank, and they routed a tour. And Frank, I know, is very appreciative, because he got an agent and got an opportunity to play and do a bunch of shows in America through being on this show and being heard, which was great. It was a win-win-win all the way around. And then, of course, the dates Frank were supposed to do were lost because of COVID. And now he's got this medical issue undisclosed, and now he says he won't be going out again. So it really sucks. You know, we've pondered with COVID and older artists if losing a year to 2 years on the road was going to maybe end their careers in some way. Maybe they just got older and didn't want to do it anymore. Maybe a medical issue creeped up. Well, we're seeing examples of exactly that. And it really sucks to hear that. But Frank Marino, I hope you are well, and I hope you can get well with whatever you are dealing with. And it's unfortunate that we will not be able to see him play again, barring, as Frank said in his statement, some sort of miracle. But if you're not familiar with Frank and his work, look him up. A monster player, and he is very, very revered in the guitar community. And unfortunately, looks like his live playing days are done.